In 1995, a developer named SingleTrack, with the aid of Sony Interactive Studios, brought the original Twisted Metal into the world, bringing birth to the vehicular combat genre. Twisted Metal was published by Sony Computer Entertainment and was released in 1995 for the Sony PlayStation. A game that would ignite a cult following and the birth of one of the most beloved gaming franchises of all time. Today, we look back on the original Twisted Metal and its ultra-successful sequel, Twisted Metal 2. Twisted Metal was the first game of its kind, with its gameplay centering around vehicular combat, where players could choose between a variety of characters, most of which would become iconic to the franchise. Twisted Metal's story centers around an insane competition where various drivers with modified vehicles would fight to the death in order to be the last man standing, in hopes of meeting the organizer of the contest named Calypso, who promises the winner a wish of any kind, regardless of prize, size, or its reality. One of the things about Twisted Metal that originally drew me into the game was its unique darkness and strange characters, such as the game's mascot, named Sweet Tooth, or better known as Needles Kane, who is a serial killer clown who drives an ice cream truck, and can be seen on the cover of pretty much every Twisted Metal game. With gameplay mostly action-oriented, the game was a blast to play. Even if the controls were pretty clunky, anyone could pick this game up and have fun with it. The original Twisted Metal has 12 playable characters or vehicles to choose from. The original game takes place on Christmas Eve in and around the city of Los Angeles, where once a year, a mysterious legendary character named Calypso holds a deadly competition where drivers from all over the world battle to the death in hopes of winning and being granted one wish of whatever they desire. The game features 6 playable arenas that consist of locations around Los Angeles, with the game featuring both multiplayer and single-player options. On single-player, you must battle through all locations with the character of your choosing, and defeat the final boss named Minion in order to defeat the game. Upon finishing the game, these weird sort of corny live-action cutscenes would play, and would differ depending on what character you played. Twisted Metal was a wild success for the Sony PlayStation, and not only spawned a sequel, but it birthed a new genre entirely, all on its own, with Twisted Metal 2 being considered one of, if not the best, in the early entries of the franchise. Weapons play a key role in winning the game. All vehicles come with a pair of mounted machine guns that are weak in power but have unlimited ammunition. However, the guns can overheat if used for too long of a time. Additional weapons scattered throughout the environments can be picked up and utilized if the player drives through them. These weapons include a variety of missiles, landmines, tire spikes, oil slicks. All vehicles can carry up to 30 weapons, and all vehicles have their own special weapon. The original Twisted Metal was received well by players and critics, with many praising the game's action and variety in vehicles, but also noted that even for its time the graphics were a little sloppy, as well as criticizing the game's single-player mode as being too short in length, as the game could be completed in just a few hours. But with Twisted Metal 2 in the works, the developers aim to fix a lot of these issues in its next installment, which we'll be taking a look at also in Twisted Metal 2. Twisted Metal 2 improves on everything the previous game did. Gameplay is more defined and improved, as controls and overall combat felt and performed much better than the original, as well as having more fleshed out storyline and direction this go around. Twisted Metal 2 does away with the odd live action cutscene art direction and goes for a more colorful comic book style art direction this time out. That will be becoming iconic for the franchise moving forward, while also having more interesting character models and car design than before. Each character, level, and cutscenes, all now with more detail put into each one. Twisted Metal 2 released in 1996 for Sony PlayStation 1 and PC, and is not only the most successful game in the Twisted Metal franchise, but is the best-selling vehicular combat game of all time. Twisted Metal 2, unlike the previous game, is now a world tour, with levels spanning many different locations around the world, such as Hong Kong, Paris, New York, and Antarctica, as 14 combatants are assembled for the Twisted Metal World Tour.
Welcome.
Twisted Metal 2 brings back iconic vehicles and characters from the first game like Sweet Tooth, Roadkill, Hammerhead, and Mr. Green, but also introduces new icons such as Axel, Mr. Slam, and Twister. Twisted Metal 2's events take place exactly 1 year after the previous game. Once again, each character here has their own special weapon, as each character and vehicle in this game handles and moves a little bit differently, depending on your choice. Everything from combat to overall handling is redefined here in Twisted Metal 2, and the game overall feels better as a result. Each character has a unique ending upon finishing the game, with each character having differing motives for participating in the contest, as Calypso always finds a way to twist the driver's wish into something sinister so that no one really wins in the end. Well, except for us, the players, as Twisted Metal 2 was held in high regard by the hardcore fans of the series, but it also was received very well by critics, who praised innovation in level design and art direction amongst gameplay as an overall improvement from the previous game, and sold over 1.74 copies alone on the PS1 console. Most critics had great things to say, yet they still nitpick graphics as an overall main concern. Moving forward, the franchise would develop 2 more Twisted Metal games to release during the same era, as the title was handed over to a new studio for development, as 989 Studios would develop Twisted Metal 3 and Twisted Metal 4, but we'll touch on those in a future video. If you like this video and want to see more, consider subscribing, as I plan on covering more Twisted Metal games in this series in the near future. Overall, I wanted to cover Twisted Metal because I loved this franchise growing up and enjoyed the dark horror undertones of this game's characters and setting. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, as it really helps out our channel. And if you're interested in seeing more content like this, visit our channel and consider subscribing for more just like this. Until next time, this has been Twisted Metal 1 and 2, a retrospective.
Ha 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 ha!